Welcome to another episode of What's Your Name? Where we discuss making a name of yourself and discuss the names of others. We just kind of focus on life, uh, family, finances, foundational laying that foundational principles that help to propel you forward in life. And just as I have the saying, well, yeah, my brand, WYN, what's your name? Because in life, you have three names: the name you're given, the name you're called, and the name that you make for yourself. And that's very important to me. And I always strive to do my name justice. You know what I'm saying? Do make my name be something that I can be proud of, that I can be proud of. One of the things that I've thought about in doing this is all the things that I have done and that I currently do. So I talk about the titles that you acquire throughout your life. Some person that may complete a PhD degree or PhD, you know what I'm saying, or get a medical license in whatever field, veterinarian medicine or surgeon or, whatever it might be. Their name then becomes doctor. As you rise through the ranks of the military, you are captain, you're majors, lieutenant colonels, you're colonels, and some even move up to being a general, but that becomes your name that is associated with your name. It's a title, but that is the name that you will call. And I think I've thought about some of the things that I've done. I've been in education for quite some time, and I've been a teacher. I've been a coach. I've been a chairperson, uh, English teacher, a history teacher, a math teacher, a special ed teacher, a football coach, a basketball coach, a baseball coach, a soccer coach, volleyball coach, a number of things. And in doing that, I think about, also a bus driver. I drive school bus, but I also drive charter buses. But I like to think about the many things that we do, and how sometimes we may get caught up in the titles or get caught up in the recognition of something that may not necessarily be what we really understand it to be. Because I'm thinking about, like, for example, we have professional athletes, but a lot of times being a professional athlete is not all it's cracked up to be, because some of these guys don't have the contracts that are guaranteed. Um, some of these guys, while they have these large incomes, they have large expenses, they have a they got a lot coming in, but they got a lot going out. And it's not necessarily just because of their spending habits. It may be something associated with their family. They may have someone that is may have an illness. Someone may have a physical limitation, a mental illness, a physical illness. The health may not be well. So they have to be able to afford the treatment for that type of stuff. You have some people, they may have a business, but their business, when you have a business, you are the one that's responsible for all of the fees and expenses and debts and challenges and unexpected matters that arise. So sometimes people say, hey, I want to jump out and be on my own and have my own business. But when you have your own business, sometimes you're on your own. Now, I know there are some that are able to make it work for them. And all I'm saying is this: just look at things for what they are, because sometimes this job may not afford you the lifestyle and the luxuries that this business can. But that's also vice versa. This business may not afford you the luxuries that this job can. So people always want to say that this is a waste of time or that is a waste of time. And I'm just here to say that It's not what you do, it's what you do with it. It's not how much you make, it's what you do with what you make. And if you don't have the foresight, the discipline, and the will to make sure that you're going to make it work for you and those people that are around you, and not just say, hey, I'm going to blow it and I'm just going to frivolously, carelessly waste it. If you can understand that, you on your way to financial success and financial freedom. Um, I'm thinking about a situation that I've noticed in a couple of different phases in my life. You have a person that works for a business, and it may be their friend's business, it may be their family member's business, and they've been with that business for quite a while, but that business does not have some of those. They don't have the state that you would think they should have. So they may not have any income, no any investment program. You know, that may not have any retirement associated with it, unless you are one that will be of the mindset of, okay, whatever I make, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna put it over here in an IRA, 401k, or some sort of investment that is gonna grow for me and pay my future self. You may hear me say that from time to time as I do these videos. You got to be willing to pay your future self. Think about where you want to be later in life and really think about, hey, I got to give myself what I think I should be able to, what I think I would need later in life. Because if it is to be, it's up to me. You got to pay your future self. So you got to be able to put money away and set it aside. Now, I know sometimes we put money away, we set it aside, and we can just save it. But then we kind of dip in it. But we can't, we're going to have to be more disciplined about it. So you may want to set up, like I said, a 401k or IRA, something like that, and just make sure you contribute to it constantly. And on another tip of that, like I said, someone that may have a business, their business does not have the same um, product as an employer. I had one particular school that I worked for, and they match dollar for dollar on your investment. Whatever you contributed, if you contributed $1, they will contribute $1. If you contributed $2, they're gonna contribute $2. If you contributed $100, they contributed $100. So basically, you're getting double the money for your investment. So let that sink in for a moment. Also, sometimes they may have to where you are matched dollar for dollar up to a certain percent. So that's just some things just to think about. So take the company match always and try your best to be able to maximize your contributions. Now, with contributions, if you're doing it on your own, I think it's like 3,200 or 3,600, somewhere up in that range that you contribute to it in a year. So definitely do that. And don't think about it as, oh, well, I can go out here and gamble this or buy this and flip that and get that money right now. Don't think about it like that, because not only are you contributing to this investment and paying your future self, the interest will compound and it will add up. So just think about it as another crop in your field of finance, in your financial freedom field. All right. You may hear me say you may hear me say a gardening or a farming reference from time to time. Because a wise man once told me 10 years ago was the best time to plant a tree. You know what the second best time is? Right now. So you have to think about it in that manner. You plant a seed, that seed will grow. You got to make sure you tend to it and water it, groom it, till it, add to it, give it the correct attention that it will need, and it will grow. You will see it grow. You we'll watch it grow, so to speak, but you don't just you never go out there and say, hey, look at this. I'm gonna watch this tree grow every day. You kind of monitor it and you notice it, but make sure you're giving it what it needs to grow, and it will grow. You know what I mean? Just like sometimes we say, I've seen, I watched you grow up. We do watch a person grow up, but we don't really watch them inch for inch. We just watch how they develop over a period of time. So you got to think about that with your financial freedom. Now, um, in being a bus driver, I know some things that I reflect as I'm driving is how we have our mindset and our ideas about this job or that job, and it's not the job for me, or this might be something that's, oh no, that's what they do. That's not what I do. But you kind of have to shift your mindset and say, hey, if this is something that I can do that will equip me to prepare myself forward, do it. Because it may not be what you will do long term, but it's something you will do right now to get you where you got to go. It's going to be that stepping stone. And when I was growing up, I had a bus driver, Mr. Warren, and he actually, I can't remember if he's just a good friend of the family or if he's actually my cousin. But I'm just gonna say he family because he was like family for me because he always made sure he looked out for me and dropped me off right at the house and got me home safely. And that's big because now as I'm older, I think about the responsibility that goes along with being a bus driver. You transporting this valuable merchandise, this valuable product, these valuable human beings to and from school, from home to school, and from school to home. A place that where they supposed to get a valuable education, meals, you know what I'm saying, attention, nurturing, stuff like that. That transporting them from here to there or there to here is very important. Now, we know we have other alternatives that are out there, virtual and whatnot, but that social community is valuable, is important. And that's why I'm really big on just making sure people, if you can do something to help schools thrive and grow, you know what I mean? It don't always have to be oh, let's raise taxes and put money in. No, we need the people there, you know what I mean? Oh, it don't always have to be, oh, we're gonna sell these little cars or whatever. No, we need the people to just take an interest and do something, but not make it about them, keep it about the kids, you know. So I do it to give back, but I also know that that is something that is gonna pay out for me. Like I'm not looking for like any return. I do it because, like I said, I'm giving back. But I just know that it's that two-way street. It's that reciprocation. You know what I'm saying? It's something that's important. You know, people need to see. You'll not be surprised. You'll be surprised where people can see themselves or what they can see themselves doing just because they saw you doing. Because I feel like had I not known Mr. Warren, and had I not had an uncle, or, well, uncles that have driven school buses and drive trucks, I would have never just really considered it. I had friends of mine that drive trucks, big rigs, and CD and stuff. People that CDL holders, basically, they there. And at one point, I kind of glossed over it, and then after a while, I said, "Man, you know what? That can help. That can add to the well-being of my family." And I know I might seem like I'm kind of rambling, but I just want you all to think about that. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to pay your future self because every little bit counts, you know, and don't discount the small thing because that small thing can take you to the bigger thing. Um, but all I have to do is keep pressing forward. And that's another reason why I do this. You know, I get on here, I talk, I'm giving out encouragement, motivation, lessons, but also I'm hoping that I can grow this to something that's viable because um, people may say, "Oh, you don't have to drive the bus because you have a particular position that you make a pretty good salary." Say, "Yes, I do," but I know that it's important what I do. It's not just like I'm going out here just wasting time and things are suffering. What I'm doing aside from my main job is something that is significant and important. But it can be exhausting, it can be tiring. Now, if I'm able to transition to this, I can just pour out my life lessons, pour out what I noticed, give encouragement, give insight, give some joy to some people, give some entertainment to some people. I mean, it's a number of things that I can provide just by getting on here and pressing record and talking about things I've experienced, things I've seen, um, places I've gone, people I've known, things of that nature. So there's a lot that you can do just from sitting in front of this camera and having the courage to do what I'm doing right now. Now, in thinking about financial literacy, I want you all to think about two people that I'm going to bring up. We're going to watch two videos, and I'm just doing this for education purposes. I ain't trying to steal nobody's shine or come up off nobody's video, because I know this copyright stuff can get a little sketchy, etchy. I don't know, but Carmelo Anthony, he talked about what was his name? Adrian Dantley. Now, we always know athletes make a lot of money, do a lot of things, but there are some lesser known ones that probably are better off financially, have a better situation than the ones that we know. And there are some that had it and they lost it. So I'm just going back to, there's a lot of ways to get to it. And believe me, you can get to it. Young Bleed once said, there's so many ways to get paid. And it's not always about getting paid. It's about having that peace. It's about having a positive environment that you can thrive in and grow in, because there's some people that they got all the money in the world, but they ain't got no peace. They can't trust anybody. They don't have any support system. They just kind of out there. And then some people, they have a lot less, but they can move effortlessly through life and just live, create, do, travel, go here, go there. And it's not even like, they don't have the billions. They don't have the millions. They may have a few tens of thousands because they put stuff in the right place. And that reminds me, I'm gonna show y'all another one later. That's another video for another day because I forgot about that list. And see, that's a good thing about this. As I'm doing this, I come up with other ways that I can share out stuff that might be of use and of value to you. But what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna watch this video about the secret life of one of the wealthiest NBA players ever. And here we go. Once upon a time, nah, I ain't gonna get into all that. We ain't gonna do it like that.
Not every athlete think of how to build a business and looking for, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we play ball for a living, so when we done, we got our bread. Mm-hmm. So we just want to fall back and relax and chill out. Mm. You know, we don't want to work no more. And the majority of athletes feel that way now. There's a handful of athletes that's like, nah, I got to keep going. I'm one of them. I got to keep going. I get bored. What's next? I got to keep moving. I got to keep building. But most athletes are not like that. And they just say, I got 500 million. Cool, I'm cool. Yeah. I had this conversation. We go to something else after this. Adrian Danton was my assistant coach in Denver. Oh, shit. Right? One of my favorite players. You wouldn't even know this motherfucker was Adrian Danton. Right? Don't say shit in practice. Don't talk. But he'll give you some shit like, hey, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You better punish that little motherfucker. Like, some shit, like, oh, okay. Like, I know you know them guys. I know you know somebody like that, man. But that's how he was, though. But he was a Hall of Famer, he's OG, and it's like, he's from DMV. And Adrian Dantley, they had 28 for 8 years. Like, he was, you know what I mean? Sure. So it was. one day as I get older, I'm starting to ask some questions. Like, what you be doing, man? Man, I don't spend it down. He said, man, I got 5 houses on the island down here. I got 2 houses. I said, hey, what? Well, you played in the 70s. How the fuck you got all? He was like, no, man, I've been saving. I always save my money. I never had to spend my money on nothing. He like gave me the game. Yeah. And I'm like, oh shit. Like nobody would never know you got all these properties. And he was like, yeah, man, that take care of everything. I'm like, oh shit. Right? Fast forward to like 2 summers after that. Now I don't see, we losing the playoffs. He's a coach. Yeah. He got to take over for George Carlin. After that summer, I'm back in Baltimore. He went to school at DeMatha High School. Mm-hmm. Right? He's the crossing guard of the DeMatha High School. This is where it's going. So pull it up. Pull it up, man. It's
crossing guard, like outside.
Outside, he's crossing guard, stop with the orange vest on. There's no line. This is where this ball right here. Right? I asked him, yo, why you? He said, no. I was bored. Look.
Yo, that's crazy.
I don't get my jersey signed. So the narrative was, to your point, the narrative was he's broke, he's this, he's home, that was a narrative.
He's down bad.
This man is probably one of the richest men that we know that played the game of basketball.
He's just doing what he's
doing. To your point, he's just doing like I'm just gonna fix. I'm gonna do something.
Side quest type.
That's why most guys, most athletes be PE teachers, like they be school counselors and shit. Yeah, like this is what they do. They be principals, right? Because we still want that challenge, right, and that control and that power. And the only way we can get that is in certain positions. So a lot of us go to principals and shit like that, but that's some real shit.
Yo, that's crazy.
It's real. So you make that sparked something when you said like, yo, I wanted to be a teacher.
So yeah, y'all check out 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. Mellow and Melrose. Good content. Now, just to shift gears, we're gonna go to Adrian Dantley video. I'm not famous. I'm a cross guard. Adrian Dantley on life after NBA. All right. But before we do that, I just want to speak briefly on, like I said, people think, oh, he broke, he this, he that. You know what I'm saying? He down bad, he hard up. But that really don't matter. None of that even matter. As long as you taking care of it, let them people think you broke. Just know that you can pick up and go wherever you want to go. Whatever city, whatever state, whatever country, whatever side of the globe, if you take care of business. And I had, of course, I had my father, had my brother, my uncle, several family members that kind of peeped me on, hey, if you do this with your money, it'll pay out for you. If you do this with your money, it will pay out for you. But in just me going through education, because I didn't necessarily want to be an educator, you know what I'm saying? I always thought, oh yeah, man, teachers don't make no money, whatever. Please, man. Just like in any profession, some people out here that do phenomenal things with a little, and there's some people that do some great things with a lot. But there's some people that get a lot and they blow it. And then some people that get whatever little bit they get, it's messed up. It's messed up already before it started. I heard Peter Pablo say on an interview with B High one time, because y'all know I B High, that's one of them, he one of them ones that I watch, I see, I peep, and this encouraged me to do what I do. Peter Pablo talk about how you get 3 monies in your life. The first money, you're gonna mess it up, you're gonna ruin it, you're gonna blow it. The first little bit of money, you're gonna ruin it, blow, done. The second money you get, and it's a different phase in your life. You're trying to fix the money you messed up. You're using all that money to fix the money that you messed up. And then when you get that third money, you don't have to survive. You can actually thrive. So just think about that. And then also, when you get to a certain point, think about what's going to keep you encouraged, motivated, focused, and going. Because going back to Mr. Warren, people think he was just a bus driver. Just worked in a steel mill. Think, oh, okay, he doing hard work. He working the steel mill and all this, so on and so forth. Man, this guy got the house he has that's on a few acres, and he own a house next door to him that's on a few acres. So he also has whatever 401k investment that the company gave to him. He drove buses, so he got a retirement from that too. Had good insurance, so he was covered there. Cheaping, then I'm quite sure that the insurance from the school bus from the educational system was cheaper than what they offered in the steel mill. So he was able to just pretty much take all the money home from his full-time job and use his part-time job to pay for his medical benefits. And then also you had a retirement that you was building up. So you getting two retirements, then you're able to use the money wisely, invest that in property and real estate. You also grew a variety of crops on your property and you sold that. So it's all in making things work for you. That's one example. Another gentleman. So I guess from my childhood, Mr. Warren, that'd be one. Trying to think of some other teachers I had that, Mr. C, Mrs. Ziegler, they kind of began to open my eyes to some things. Mr. Humes, it's a number of them. But then also my uncle Joe, he worked at Auburn when I went to Auburn. But that's another uncle that just showed me that, hey man, you ain't gotta be loud and flashy. Just go do your work. As long as you're getting paid, put that money in the right place and watch it grow for you. But in my professional, I had see Irvin, JP Powell, Russell County. Had dang, can't believe I'm forgetting his name, but this guy, he was a principal and he worked at he had him a club. And I was like, wait a minute, what he just ain't a principal? It's like, nah. He got property and his club is actually one of the places that people rent out and had their events from. So there you go. He also played Alabama played football at University of Alabama. My bad. I'm tripping, man. Uh, but when I went and worked at Virginia College, Miss Henry, she told me about Van Treese Davis. That's what I'm trying to say. Shout out to Van Treese Davis, Principal Van Treese Davis. I don't think he at Russell County anymore, but shout out to you. He was one of the ones that began to show me that, hey man, you here, and it's a lot of other places you could be that's much worse than here dealing with these children. It's a blessing that you were here. You just gotta appreciate it and do the most with your time. All right. So Tammy Henry, she had a husband named TK. I don't know if I think from my understanding, that's his name, TK, initials TK Henry. But he worked in the school system in Muskogee County. He was in the military. And so when he retired, he had his military retirement, whatever disability he got, then also the retirement from the school system. So that's 3 retirements. All right. And remember, in each one of those, well, in both of those, the military and the school system, he had to match whatever he contributed. It was matched. All right. Then he taught typing. So then at the point where this particular information was privy to me, he was experiencing some health complications and he ended up passing away. Just short story, short term. And I was kind of confused about the way things were going with when Miss Henry would be at work and when she wouldn't be at work, so and so. But came to find out it was because she was dealing with her husband. But in his passing, it was revealed to her that he had at least 7 properties. You know, I think he may have had like a small complex, like maybe like 4, 6, or 8 units, had some duplexes and had several houses. Yes, TK was loaded. And the thing about it was he drove an old beat up truck or van or something like that, and he just lived. But he continued to do what he wanted to do. And what that was provide. He provided a lifestyle that they didn't even understand because once it was revealed to her, she was just like blown away that, wow, he really set it up for me. And I wasn't even thinking about this. I'm just like, I get my money, I get my check, I go do whatever. But he actually set it up. And that impacted me a lot. And basically he showed me that, okay, man, you ain't gotta be showy, you know. Just make sure you set things up the right way. Don't don't what's the word I'm looking for, y'all? Y'all know what word I'm looking for. Procrastinate. Delegate and take the necessary actions to put things in the proper place. So that was one important instance that really kind of shaped my mindset. And then when I got to at middle school, Mr. Knight, he had several properties. He was retired military from New York City, and he talked about how they used to just come up with ways to make money, man. I mean, like corn machines at the wash house, things of that nature, laundry, yard work, and just work. He just knew work, but also he had a nice Mercedes Benz. He kept it clean, took care of it. But you would think it was newer than it was, but it just actually was just a well maintained vehicle. He drove what he wanted, went where he wanted to go, and he also drove trucks at one point. So that was another one that kind of made me think like, man, I could. And the thing about it, I drive these buses now. I realize I could have driven this a long time ago and had an even bigger retirement sitting aside for me. But here I am now doing making up for lost time, I guess. But I'm saying all this to say is once again, it's not what you do, it's what you do with what you do. Whatever you do, just make it count, make it matter. And that's making that name for yourself. So we're gonna watch this Adrian Dantley video. I'm not famous. And let's try that again. Because I don't believe I pushed share.
How you doing today? Oh, I'm not famous. I'm a crossing guard.
Famous is an understatement for this NBA legend. To these kids, he's their morning crossing guard. But his resume proves that he is so much more than that.
Throughout my playing career, the critics said I was too short, too fat, too slow. Had a torn ligament in my wrist, came back, was the comeback player of the year. I think I got the highest scoring average in Utah history. But what they forgot to mention is that I had a brain, a work ethic, and a will to win. Well, Utah is where it started. it was a great career. I enjoyed it. I love Utah. When I used to tell people I love Utah, they looked at me like I was crazy. Like, hey, you a black guy? What does it do out there? I said, hey, I'm not going to do anything anyway during the season but play basketball and sleep. But I really, like the people out there. And I know the opponents, when they talk about the Jazz, they hate the Jazz fans. So, great fan.
Basketball will always be an important part of who Adrian Dantley is, but he's found a new way to make it a part of life.
Yeah, I've been refereeing now for about 9 years, I think, and I referee during the season. I 10 and under, JV, freshman, varsity, 70 and older. Those guys really get on me. And during the weekend, we usually officiate games where kids who didn't make their high school team, so they have a league for them on the weekend. So that's why I'm here today, officiating these guys. Oh well, I enjoyed being around the guys playing basketball. I really enjoyed being around the 10 and under, just to see them develop from elementary school all the way through junior high school and then high school. But a lot of times while I'm officiating, I'll be telling them points on the court, which I shouldn't be doing. But most of the kids, when I first started, they didn't know me. But as I've been officiating, pretty much all the parents and the kids know me now since I've been doing it for a long period of time.
This is what post-basketball life looks like for the Hall of Famer.
I think I've been doing this for 10 years. 10 years. Probably do it till I go under. I know.
And while Adrian Dantley may no longer be performing under the big lights, he's found a calling under different lights, stoplights. It's there he often reflects on his basketball career, his ups and downs, and what it took to become one of the greats.
I work out at home and stuff. Got a gym in the house. Can't get like the other people, former ball players. I can't get big and fat. You know what I mean? I think I've always persevered. The odds has always been against me since I've been thinking about playing sports. I wasn't tall enough, wasn't quick enough, wasn't fast enough. So I used to always hear this from all the critics. At every level that I was successful at, they would always say, oh, the next level, he's not going to do that. So I defeated all the odds and persevered. That's what I'm known for. A lot of people that know me, they always say, the hardest working man in town. They always call me James Brown Jr.
The NBA to Moses
Now that's something. Perseverance is the key, man. Perseverance is the key. And that video, there you go. People do what they enjoy. People do what they love. Uh, you got to find ways to aspire and grow and develop and be who you are, but you got to be able to adapt and adjust because he was able to adapt and adjust and still thrive and go further and even further and even further because he had the right attitude. You may hit a roadblock and then you're gonna have to take another route. And I can attest to that because, like I said, I felt like growing up, I wanted to be an athlete, true enough, but I've always been good at school. And at a certain point, I realized that, wait a minute, I am the size that I'm going to be. And do I want to continue taking this punishment on my body or trying to overcompensate for something that I just may not be cut out for and figure it out? But nah, I said, you know what, I'm gonna hit these books, I'm gonna figure something out. Got to college, wanted to do entrepreneurship, family business, things of that nature. And it was some classes that came about, accounting and some of those calculus and trig just one of my things. So I had to adjust, end up studying English. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go out, I'll write, I'll try to find some type of job, just sales or something. And I got a degree. They looking for a degree, but nope, that wasn't the case. Teaching was available. I went into teaching. I said, "Oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this." And finally, I said, "You know what? If I'm doing this, I'm going to do this." And from there on, my mindset shift, attitude adjustment caused me to excel and advance because it was kind of like a up and down roller coaster. And all of a sudden, when I had that mind shift, everything's been on the upswing. And it's been able to take me to different places that I never thought I would go. And so on now I'm doing like civil service and things of that nature. And it's amazing. But I'm also figuring out ways to have businesses, you know what I mean? Have something that's complementary to things that are necessary. That's my whole mindset now. When I do a business, it may not be the business, you know what I mean, like the car business or whatever, the Hyundai, so on and so forth, the Chevrolet, so. But you know what? They need tires. You know what? They need bolts. They need brake pads. You know, there's a lot of things that complement the machine that we utilize every day. You know, and even with sports, I still was able to be around sports. I also officiate. I've done softball, baseball, and some volleyball too. But it's like finding ways to be around the sport if you want to be near the sport, and also understanding that hey, when your time is up, your time is up. Don't be trying to go out here in this 37 U and get your body towed through. But once again, man, WYN, I think I've said enough. Of course, like I said, Mr. Knight, Miss Henry, TK Henry, Vantrease Davis, my daddy, Mr. Warren, Uncle Joe Witt, Uncle Joe Ward, Uncle Eddie, Auntie Barbara, Uncle Keith, you know what I'm saying? My mama, you know what I'm saying? It's a long list of people. Mr. Knight, Mr. Knight, Mr. Knight, Mr. Knight. I hope I may have said it already, but I want to make sure I don't leave him out. It's people that's gonna be putting in your life along the way that's gonna show you some things. And currently, right now, I got Mr. Lawrence Trammell, Mr. Thomas Brooks. They've given me some perspective on life and how to continue to grow and develop and thrive. And I'm hoping I can have some impact and shaping and directing your outlook on things. But once again, remember, three names in your life: the name you're giving, the name you're calling, and the name you make for yourself. Go make a name for yourself.